This is We Went Back. It is a very short horror game. It's free, so there's little to complain about, except that I have a few things to complain about. So it gives you a basic tutorial right here on what you can do in the game. You can zoom in, although you don't need to. You interact with stuff with E, and then you can pick stuff up and look at it. Here it automatically puts you into settings. And it's really weird because it doesn't seem to save anything you do. I mean, it is a short game, like it's 30 to 45 minutes to play through, but it's still weird that it doesn't save anything. So I'm just going to go with these settings, and like this, you always have to adjust it. Like there's nothing I can see here, but if I adjust it just a little bit, then I can barely see it. Oop. I didn't have my volume on for a second there. Okay, let's see here. Game. Oh, that was weird. It like didn't show my prompt properly, but it said E to do stuff. Anyway, so what you got is you're in the space station, and I know the game's gonna look like it runs a little choppy, and that's what it does. It runs a little choppy. Like I've changed the graphic settings to be on the lowest possible, and it still is choppy. So like it's kind of choppy right now, but if I go in and change the settings, if I want to go down to low, like it looks pretty nice on high. But even if I go down to low, leave the FPS at 60, resume. Now it looks worse, but it's still choppy, even just moving my screen around. So it's kind of bad that it just doesn't run well, even regardless of what kind of video settings you have. Let's go ahead and return to high, just so it looks nicer. So yeah, what you've got here is, if you take a look over here, you've got this computer, and you need to figure out a password to unlock the door. And that's how you beat the game, is you unlock this door. It gets you out of the space station. What you have to do is you go around. First thing you gotta do is you gotta pick up this camera. Like you can't get past it, even though that camera should not be something that stops you. You can't duck or anything. But what you gotta do is you gotta pick up this camera, and you also have to rotate it so it looks at you. And then your command down there, the E command, instead of going back, it changes to pick up. Just letting you know so you don't get stuck on the first thing. So yeah, it took my picture, whatever. Now I can go past it. And I'm in the space station. The game just runs so choppy, man. It might be a little worse because I have recording software running at the same time. But yeah, it still isn't super smooth. So what you got to do is you run through here. This is a looping hallway type horror game. I don't know if PT was the first one to do it, but this one is kind of doing it as well. This is the point of no return. This is where the loop starts and ends. This door, because when you reach the end of the hallway, you can go through the door, but you cannot go back through the door from this side. There is no option to go back this way. So now it's kind of like a one-way looping hallway, which, I mean, I guess it should be. But what your goal is you have to find some stuff. And it's going to teach us here real quick what the stuff is. That suit's just going to fall down. We're going to get a little peek at what the monster is like. So yeah, the monster is down there for the second that he tries to grab at us. You can't... Okay, you can die, but only if you fail. Like, the way that you fail is if you go a loop through the hallway without accomplishing anything. Here's the main puzzle. You've got this chart here of the moon phases, and you've got two clues right here, I and E, for half moons, opposite sides. And it's weird because, okay, so you can zoom in. I'll go ahead and do it now. It's kind of got all these sticky notes around here about the phases of the moon and how they're crossed off. Like, this is not a W, this is not a C, this is not an O, this is not a D, this is not an H. I don't know who was in here writing all these sticky notes. But, yeah, you can completely ignore them because they aren't going to help you deduce what everything else is. What are these? These glow lights? Yeah, I guess they're glow lights. So yeah, I think all of the suits are looking at me right now. Do they actually turn their heads? Ugh, the game runs so choppy, it's hard to tell. And again, I think it's worse right now because I got my recording software going, but it's still choppy. Holy crap. Anyway, so I'm going to run through here. I need to find something. Wait, I think the first one is right here. Yeah, this is the first one. This cassette player, looks like, or a tape recorder or something. What you're looking for is these moon phases, and your E command will change from go back to take photo. And it'll zoom in on its own, do this little flash, and now you've got another clue. If I go back to the room over here, never mind that screaming. If I go back to the room over here, you'll see there's another photo. That's the photo I just took. And what you're going to have to do is figure out what this... You're not going to have to figure out what this letter is. When you do figure out what the letter is, you'll want to place it in the right spot by just clicking on it and then clicking on a space. But, I mean, no point in putting it anywhere until you know what it is. Basically, after you find all the photos you need to take, you'll eventually find another thing. In fact, it'll show up in this room, which is the key to telling you what phases of the moon are what letters. And that's pretty much the entire game. So now that I have found that photo, there's nothing else for me to find in this hallway until I complete the loop. So I should just run through to the end, and then the next time I go through the hallway, something new will be there for me to find. You also may find the monster in different spots. Now, I don't know if this is the monster. There are a couple of off scares you can trigger. It looks like the monster, but I don't know what it would be doing in that frozen chamber. Here's another one you can trigger if you just stare out like that for a second. Those are the only missable scares, really. Also, if you go through the hallway without finding something, then you'll trigger another scare, which is sort of like a death screen, but it just returns you back here. But yeah, that is pretty much the entire game. I don't want to spoil any more of the game just because, you know, if you want to play it, it is free. It doesn't run as choppy as it looks here, but this is pretty bad because I think it's partly because of my recording software, but either way, the game still runs kind of choppy. But again, it's a free game, so go ahead and try it out. If you're even remotely interested, that means you can just play it for free. If you have any questions about the game before trying it out, you can ask me in the comments below. Hey, if you have any recommendations on games like this, if you've played this game, let me know what you think of it in the comments. And if you have any recommendations for games like this, say, I like this. What are other games like this that I can try out? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next video.